going to take a look at adding and subtracting integers. What I want you to do is leave maybe 2 pages. 2 pages should be enough for a table of contents. Fill that out as we go. I'm not going to be reminded, you just do it. So very first thing you do when you're adding and subtracting is you pick a team symbol. Alright, so if you have 2 signs right next to each other, you have to pick the team that you belong to. So a positive and negative, or negative and positive becomes a negative. A positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative, that becomes a positive. So each question, pick the team symbol. So like that first question is fine. 2, 3, that needs to be changed, etc., etc. So for the first one, this one's alright. The symbol is already okay because they're not 2 symbols next to each other. Alright, step 2 says separate the people by the team symbol. The symbol is always on the front. If it doesn't have a sign, it is automatically a positive. So just separate them. This is a listening check. This is a listening check. Go ahead and underline number 2 where it says separate the people by their team symbol. Separate the people by their team symbol. Once you're separated, ask yourself who's meeting who. Alright, so from here on forth, Trojans is going to be positive and Tigers is going to be negative. So every time you hear me say Trojans, I mean the positive. You hear me say Tigers, I mean the negative. So who's meeting who? Well, Trojans are meeting Tigers. So that's what we're going to write out. Trojans are meeting Tigers. Next question you're going to ask yourself is what happens when the same team meets? So these are Trojans and Tigers, they're different teams. So what happens when different teams meet? They're going to fight each other. So in the blank there, I want you to write fight and kill each other under different teams meet. This is a listening check. That's what you're going to write. They're going to fight and kill each other. So in the blank under different teams meet, that's what you're writing. Alright, so which team wins? So after they fight, the one with more people is going to win. So in this case, the negative team wins. So you're going to write down Tigers are going to win. And why do they win? Because they have more people. So that's what you're going to write down. You're going to write down Tigers, more people. Alright, how many did they win by? So we know the Tigers won, but how many did they win? Well, they lost 8 people in the war. So how many do they have left? They have 4 people left. And then just don't forget the symbol. So when you get the final answer, do not forget the symbol. Alright, I'm going to breeze through the rest pretty quick because you should already have it. So remember, you can't have 2 signs. So you need to fix the signs. So remember, 2 signs right next to each other need to be fixed. So negative and negative becomes a positive. So it's negative 18 plus 14. Then number 2, separate them by their teams. So you're going to have Tigers, negative 18, meets positive Trojans, 14. Then ask yourself, who's meeting who? Well, the Tigers, negatives, are meeting the Trojans, positives. And then my next question is going to be, well, what happens when different team members meet? So again, remember, under where it says different team members meet, you're going to write down fight and kill each other. So who's going to win after this fight? Well, the Tigers are going to win. And why they're going to win? They have more people. How many do they win by? Well, they lose 14 people. So how many are left? 4. So don't forget the symbol, negative 4. Alright, we'll speed this up a little bit faster. Again, you can't have 2 signs next to each other. So it's going to be negative 14 minus 13. Separate them by their team symbols. That's going to be negative 14, negative 11. Who's meeting who? This is Tigers meet Tigers. So what happens when the same team meets? So right here under the same team meets, I want you to write high five each other and grow in number. High five each other and grow in number. If you didn't write that, then you missed the listening check. Which team wins and why? Tigers win because they're the same team. Alright, how many do they win by? Well, they don't lose any people, so they just have to add them up. So that's 25, and don't forget the symbol. So Tigers win by 25. Alright, the symbol's already okay, so just separate them by their teams. So you're going to have negative 38, and on the other side, positive 12. Who meets who? That's Tigers meets Trojans. Tigers meets Trojans. What happens when Tigers and Trojans meet? Because they're different teams, they're going to fight and kill each other. They're fighting. Who's going to win? The Tigers. Why do they win? Because they have more people. Whoever has most people win. And how many do they win by? So they're going to lose 12 people in the fight. So it's going to be 6, 26. And do not forget the team symbol. Do not forget the team symbol. Alright, so all of these have been negative answers. I'm going to pick one where it's going to be positive. Again, remember, you can't have 2 signs right next to each other, so you first need to fix that. So it's going to be 28 plus 15. Go ahead and separate them by their teams. Positive 28, positive 15. Who's meeting who? This is Trojans meet Trojans. What happens when the same team members meet? They high five and grow in number. They high five and grow in number. Alright, which team wins and why? Well, Trojans are going to win because you're not going to kill yourself, right? So So Trojans win by how many? Remember, they have to be more in number because they're not killing each other. How many more? 43. So 28 plus 15 is 43. And do not forget the team symbol. Well, because it's positive, you don't have to put that symbol there, but I'm just going to leave it there for right now. So again, fix the signs so that positive and negative is going to become a negative. Separate by the teams. So positive 126 and Tigers 112. And then who's meeting who? Trojans are meeting Tigers. What happens when different team members meet? They fight, they kill each other, they destroy one another. So they're going to fight. Which team wins and why? Well, the Trojans are going to win this time. Yay! Why? Because they have more people. They have 126 people. And how many do they win by? Out of that 126, they're going to lose 112. So just subtract those two, and we're going to have 14. And again, don't forget the team symbol. But again, with the positives, you can actually just leave it as blank 14. And that's it. That's how we add and subtract fractions. This is how you're going to stick it into your book so that it's ready for me to check. Let's practice.
You better fly.